3 years ago, if you had told me that I would be teaching 5 classes in a middle school and high school in Greensboro, I would have said, not me. Mary Beth and I moved here in November of 2021. We had been in the Chicago area for 20 years. Our family had moved to Charlotte and Athens. So we had a lot of reasons for wanting to come to this area. And I thought that I would eventually transition out of my job. And so that by this time I expected that I'd be sitting on our deck reading a lot of books with my feet up. But God had other plans. Drew is the headmaster of the Covenant School, and Drew had originally asked Mary Beth to come and teach history. She happened to mention that I was president of the debate team in college, and Drew latched onto that. So the next thing I knew, Drew was talking with me about teaching one class at Covenant, and it happened to be a debate class or 10th grade logic. And I thought, well, I can do that. I've never been a teacher in my life, and I have immense respect for people who have teaching as a career. How do you take somebody my age that's never been a teacher before and turn them into a teacher? So I started out teaching one class a week. I'd show up on campus 5 or 10 minutes before the class. I'd go in, really expected that the students wanted to be left alone and just wanted me to be there kind of to judge them a little bit, and then I'd leave right after. I was driving home one day and I just said, I'm not connected, I don't feel like I'm doing anything, I don't know. And I felt a little prompting from God that just said, you know, you need to do more. I started trying to get to the school a little bit more than 10 or 15 minutes before the class. I tried to stay around a little bit more. I started getting more involved with the students as they were preparing for debates, and I gave them a little bit more time. The last debates that we did, I broke the class up into 3 teams, and I told them they could pick the topic, they could pick the side, and they got to debate against me on 3 different topics, and we just had a great time. At the end of the year, when I asked them for feedback, they said, well, you know, Mr. Tara, when you were involved with us on a hands-on basis, helping us prepare and plan and strategize, that was the best part of the class. I really think the thing that has sustained me is I've been realizing that I'm not a teacher. What I have done well is I've used my gift of encouragement to be able to say to the students, you can do this and let's do this together. And I feel like that's the way God's been with me. There have been a number of times just in the last year and a half when I felt like I was so far above what I was capable of doing. And God has said to me, Chris, He said, come on, I'm in this with you, you can do this. And so I've hung in there and I've done it, but I've realized that all the things that I've done at Covenant in a year and a half, I could not have done at all without God's great mercy and grace and power and assistance. And I'm just so grateful for that because of all the things that I've learned as a result of God saying, come on, Chris, let's do this. I'm really glad that God persisted with me and encouraged me to hang in there because where I am now, it's just a blessing to be able to spend the time that I can here at Covenant. Now I teach 4 logic classes. I will teach the interpersonal skills class. I've really built relationships with the students. The parents are wonderful. There's a wonderful group of teachers here that I've learned so much from. I mean, I laugh about it now because I think about the fact that last year I said my real job is what I was doing in Chicago, and this was just on the side, is now I'm very proud to say, no, my real job is I'm a teacher at the Covenant School. I'm still able to do that other thing, but that's the side job. God has just flipped my priorities because He's shown me that the way that He has gifted me, that He wants me to use that with the students at the Covenant School. When we start out and God has called us to a certain place and we think that we're going to serve, is that we wind up being served many times over. And I have been so blessed by these students in so many ways. Just the joy that they're willing to share back with me and the extra effort that they put in is just really something. But I can't wait to see what God has in store for me here at Covenant. I guess to be continued. We'll see what happens.